There's something unique about a pub, distinct from most cafes and nearly all restaurants, which is if you look at the variety of seating here.
Yeah.
Okay. There, I could go over there with a laptop and be on my own.
Yeah.
I could go into that corner and have a romantic evening.
Yeah.
Okay. I could sit on that sofa with a few friends perfectly happily.
Yeah. Yes.
So effectively, the ability to choose your seating appropriate to your mood and circumstance.
We call this lovely chaos.
Perfect.
Because without this chaos, then it seems ordered and everything is symmetrical and it's codified and it's not fun. And restaurants tend to do
Yes,
that.
yeah.
And pubs kind of tend to do it a little bit, but if you completely ignore it and make sure you have places where people can hide and places where people can be on their own and places where people can be in a group and places where people can have a raucous time and places where people can have a quiet time.
So train
all
design.
of those things, and you put it into the design, and you make sure that there are places that you can actually not be seen, and places that you can be seen as well. So you have a kind of different layers of experience. There's all different things you
And
can
actually, for example, you don't mind a place being crowded if there's somewhere you can lean.
do. Exactly.
Okay. So one of the things where train designers could learn from pubs is that normally you have uniform seating in a train, which is becoming increasingly bus or aircraft-like. Now, one of the luxuries trains have, which actually other forms of transport don't, and there is, I think, a sort of Deutsche Bahn experimental lab that looks at this, is you could, the only exception I know, the Arlanda Airport Express, part of the seating is stools where you look straight out of the window and you have a little shelf, okay, where
Like
you
a
can put a
bar
laptop, okay?
Yeah.
It's an absolute joy riding on that thing because every time I go on the Arlanda Express, which isn't that often, I don't go to Stockholm that frequently, but you can sit looking at the view, okay? You take up less space and you're happier. I mean, it's a fantastic whip.
I totally agree, and I love the Eurostar for that, and also the TGVs in France, because even when I have a seat, I go straight to the bar restaurant.
The bar where they've got stools
where
and a
they've
little
got
shelf.
stools, and you can lean against the window, and you can wander around, and you might bump into somebody, and you can talk to the person behind the counter.
As soon as you lean, you feel at home, don't you? There's a sort of weird comfort that you get from leaning versus the standing.
No. One of the things you could do is you could create, literally on trains, you could create more standing areas, but with leaning places.
Yeah, so
and
you
people
don't
would
feel-
actually be pretty happy.
Yeah.
I asked this question actually, what is it that people hate about standing? And it isn't simply standing, because there are people who choose to stand on trains where there are loads of seats available. What it probably is partly feeling out of balance. It might be feeling that your bag might be nicked.
And
And
also having 360 around, so you're being watched from all sides.
Of course.
And I
Yes,
think
that's a silent
that's what you don't
irritant. Yes.
want.
So this psychology, by the way, I mean, a large part of it explains why Apple Vision Pro will never succeed. Because would you ever sit in a public space wearing goggles? I'd be convinced someone was going to stab me, basically.
Well, I've been surprised by lots of things that have happened in technology, but I can't see that. I do agree.
Yeah.
Espressos is sponsored by supply chain software gurus Unleashed. It talks to your e-com and accounting software. It's helped islands cut admin time in half, get granular clarity on your margins, know where your stock is, don't miss availability. Brands like Candy Kittens, Tiny Rebel and Trip all use Unleashed, and so should you.